Who knows how long I'd be here? I started trying the door handles, all of which were locked. I tried them all, just to be sure. I was halfway through the hallway when I first heard the sound. It was that distant static again, coming from somewhere, like a detuned radio or an old TV. There were hints of a voice mixed in, like someone talking, but it was unintelligible. Then the noise of static started getting louder and louder. Soon it was blaring through the hallway as if being played through an unseen loudspeaker. The awful noise was getting so loud my ears started to throb. I clamped my hands to the sides of my head and ran towards the other end of the hallway. When I reached the unmarked door at the end, I immediately started kicking at the door handle. A few hard kicks and the door smashed open, sending splinters and shrapnel from the doorframe into the next room. I threw my weight into the door, slamming it shut. It stayed closed miraculously. The static sound was still audible, but now very much muffled by the door. Then a deep, gurgly voice bubbled out from somewhere in the distance. Reese. I didn't reply, but just listened hard. Reese. I shouted out into the room. What the hell do you want? I didn't notice, but I was running already. I tore through several bland yellow rooms. I realized I was back on carpet again, signaled by the thick smell of wet decay. It was getting hard to breathe, but the adrenaline kept me moving. I don't know how many turns I took or how far I ran. I could have run a mile through the empty, featureless rooms with yellow wallpaper and brown carpet and sharp, buzzing overhead lights. Finally, I collapsed to my knees and took deep, stinging breaths. My lungs burned like a brush fire. After I caught my breath, I got back to my feet and attempted to make further progress into the horrible maze of drab yellow rooms. Then I heard it again. The voice. Reese, why are you running? I turned around to look behind me, and there, 3 rooms away, and partially concealed by an open doorway, was a shadow shape. A human standing at average height and build was peeking around a corner. It was featureless and dark, just like a cutout of paper. The sight lurched me back into a fight or flight mode, and I turned again to run. The static sound flared up again and got louder and louder in my ears until it was all I could hear. I am going to die here. It was then I saw a room up ahead that had concrete walls and floors, like the first area I had found before tumbling into Deimos Moors. I steered that way and beat feet. I ran until it felt like all my bones were broken and all my organs were burning into ashes. My tongue was swollen and my eyes stung. Tears streaked down my cheeks and down my neck. I saw a metal door at the end of the hall and I ran with my arms out in front of me. This was the first time I noticed my hands were covered in blood. My body finally decided it wasn't going to work anymore. I tripped and pitched forward, head first into the steel door. I didn't feel the impact as I lost consciousness. I awoke to a headache to end all headaches. My heartbeat assaulted my ears like a symphony. It was as if I'd been run over by a sanitation truck. For all I knew, maybe I had. I was probably dead a long time ago, and that sullen yellow nightmare was hell. And that shadow shape was the devil incarnate. I somehow pushed myself into a sitting position and back against the nearest wall. For what seemed like an hour, I struggled to stay conscious, like waking up from surgery and shaking off the last of the anesthesia. Finally, I could keep my eyes open long enough to focus on my surroundings. Bricks. Soggy paper and garbage around my legs. It was the graffiti alley from last night. It was now early morning as far as I could determine. I couldn't stand, but I dragged my head in the direction of the steel door. There was no door at the end of the alley, just somebody sleeping under a heap of cardboard and the smell of stale urine in my nostrils. I was able to stand eventually, and I dragged my pallid ass out of that alleyway. I limped home, every muscle in my body aching and screaming for respite. I got to my apartment, undressed, took a shower, and collapsed into my bed. I slept for days. I don't know how long, but it was enough that my employer issued an ultimatum for me missing work. I called and explained, but nobody would believe me. My old boss emailed me and suggested I seek help, which was not really very comforting. I kept replaying the events of that night in my head and really just couldn't make any sense of it all. Maybe I have lost my mind. Maybe that was my body telling me I really do need professional help. I called Amazon to plead with them to explain what happened, and the representative I spoke to escalated my case to some legal team who would be, quote, investigating the incident. I haven't heard anything back. I have tried researching the Locker Dymos to see if anybody else has encountered such a thing, and nothing has come up. I've begun to receive unusual text notifications from Amazon. Apparently, something new was developed. I didn't order anything, and they sent a photo. If anyone knows what the hell happened or where I was, please help me.